Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Advanced Conversation. This is week 5, and in this video, I am broadcasting here not from Ali's office, but from Ali's kitchen. And in this video, we're going to introduce the second graded task, and we will be calling this one Teach Me How to Do Something. So that should give you a big hint as to what we want to accomplish in our next video project. All right, so this assignment, Teach Me How to Do Something, is going to require that you make a 4 or 5 minute long video in which you naturally teach us how to do something. All right, maybe you have a special talent. Maybe you want to learn something yourself. Maybe you consider yourself an excellent instructor and teacher. These are all things to focus on for the next assignment. All right, so a little bit different. Hopefully, also gives you a chance to flex your creativity as well. And of course, remember in this assignment, we will have to use our effective language and even some paralinguistic aids, some non-linguistic helpers. All right, we will follow a similar process as our last assignment, news reports. In fact, we're going to follow this kind of process for every assignment that we're doing online here. So this week, again, our purpose is to get that video made and post it in the Kakao chat room by next Wednesday. And then the following week, we're going to spend that time grading each other's assignments. So with this assignment, again, I recommend that you write a script so that you can focus on the language that you're using and the structure of your directions to put together an effective, organized process and presentation. However, I always want to stress, be careful not to simply read your script. This is not about writing and reading scripts. It's about improving your speaking skills. All right, so the goal here is to really try and focus on that, but in some more specific ways. And we can use these different kind of tasks, the different roles, to help improve more specific aspects of our communication. So again, as I mentioned, just to be square about the due dates, you'll have 1 week to post the video by Wednesday, the 6th of October, and then we will grade the videos the following week, and your grading sheet will be due the 13th of October. As with all of our assignments, this again is worth 15% of your grade, 50% of which will come from your classmates, 50% of which will come from me. So let's talk a little bit about some of the speaking objectives for this assignment. Again, it's teach me how to do something. So the role that you'll be playing will be that of teacher or instructor, if you prefer. And we are going to practice very valuable speaking skills, giving directions. Okay? We're going to teach each other how to do something. As I mentioned earlier, perhaps you have a special skill or hobby or interest that you would like to share. And that can really keep you interested and motivated, and it can also make us feel more interested and motivated. But think of something, anything you want, as long as you can demonstrate that and give us that demonstration in a 4 or 5 minute video. So a couple hints to help us be successful here. All right, in our language, remember we want to be concise, be to the point. All right, that was something we focused on in news reports. It's also going to be helpful in giving directions and teaching as well, because we don't want to say too much and create confusion or continue off topic on something else. So keep your sentence structures short, again, and to the point, and focus on giving the necessary step-by-step information. All right, it's going to be a little bit different, though, in how we give this information. We're not just providing information like we do it in a report. We're giving directions. So to help give directions, we use what is called the imperative mood. All right. So in that case, we're going to be giving commands, giving orders directly. And that, by nature, is more concise. Think, for example, right, if you have to give directions, we don't want to create this long narrative. We can be more to the point. So instead of saying, you have to take the bacon and place that in the frying pan, right? You can just say, place the bacon in the frying pan. It saves a lot of extra words, and it gives less room for any kind of confusion and saves time when somebody listening and trying to copy this or remember it is trying to focus on what you're saying. All right. So what's going to be helpful also is the use of transitions, or what I might call here linguistic markers. All right. These are words that we can use to highlight steps in the process. For example, we can use words like first, second, third, to begin with, next, after that, once, when, at that time, finally, etc., etc. Okay? So, for example, if you use it in a sentence, you can say, first, place the bacon in the pan. Or, finally, sit down and enjoy your meal. Right. Also, what you want to do is speak slowly and clearly and highlight key parts of the process. And that means you can use the intonation in your voice to go up or down, and the volume in your voice to emphasize certain processes. You can use hand gestures to deliver your information. Facial expressions as well, raised eyebrows, all right, or crossed eyebrows, or other non-language based aids, paralinguistic markers to help express your ideas and really highlight the steps of your process. So in the notes, I've also included some things on how to give a demonstration speech. And you can follow these tips as well in how you structure your script and therefore organize and structure your presentation. All right, so a demonstration speech is when the speaker's primary purpose is to teach the audience how to complete a task or process, and it is largely accomplished by demonstrating that task or process through a series of steps. All right, the first thing you want to start with is an introduction. You want to introduce the topic, and you want to really focus on explaining why. So it's important to tell the audience, what they will benefit or how they'll benefit from the knowledge that you're about to share. And in that way, you can kind of motivate them how to learn. And you can also, if you have a really catching introduction, you can get them motivated and excited and interested in your topic, which means you will be able to communicate that process, that learning process, better. All right, so there are many ways to motivate your audience. One of the best ways is to open with a short kind of story, how this may impact or apply to your life and how it can apply to the audiences as well. You can paint a picture of how this life or how this knowledge will improve the audience's life. It really depends on you and your creativity and the topic that you have chosen as well. But make sure you start with why and get your reader interested and motivated into learning your topic. All right, step 2, you may want to give a brief overview of the process. You don't give the steps specifically and in detail, just kind of give them a rough shade of what you're going to do. All right. In this outline too, you might want to include, for example, if you're cooking, you might want to include a list of ingredients that you need to prepare in order to accomplish your task as well. Okay, it really depends on what it is you hope to teach. All right, next is the important step, and that is to go through each of the steps one by one. And we want to go through it carefully. Make sure that you don't ignore any crucial steps in the process. So be prepared, okay? Be very prepared and be very organized. As we're grading these assignments, I think that's one thing you'll really want to look for, is how organized the person is in their presentation and how well they prepare their steps and they don't miss anything in that process. Okay, because we, to be successful as teachers or instructors, really need to figure out, put ourselves in the place of the audience or the student, and make sure we can lead them through that process successfully from start to finish. Now, it depends on what it is you're teaching and how much time. For this video, we have 4 to 5 minutes, but you probably don't want to present, a 37-step process. Try to keep the steps as limited as possible. Don't add any unnecessary information. We don't want to confuse our audience. But for each step, you should try to include the purpose of the step, why it's necessary, explain the step in simple, straightforward language, what needs to be done and what to be careful about, and then, if you can, show how to complete the step as well. All right, also, what you may want to do is discuss possible options or variations or other aspects that can be included in the process that you are trying to teach. All right, that can be helpful too. It's not necessary. It is optional. It's not necessary, but it really depends on, again, your time and what it is you hope to teach and to what complexity. So know your audience and be prepared for possible variations if that is meaningful to what you're teaching. All right, number 5 that's included in here is optional as well. Allow for question and answer. Because we're doing this as a video assignment, don't worry about question and answer. These videos will be produced ahead of time. All right, and to conclude, have a conclusion. You can summarize briefly your steps or come back to your introduction as well. But trying to wrap up your process where you really kind of just get to the point or reinforce or re-emphasize what it is you're trying to teach and why. All right, as with all of our assignments, we are going to be following a rubric. So I've also included the rubric to grade these assignments. But before we get to grading, I suggest you look at the rubric and make sure you consider the grading when you consider how to prepare your own video, because this is what other people will be using to grade you in your successful assignment, hopefully. All right, so pay attention to that. All of the rubrics are fairly similar to the one we used in assignment number 1, but as we kind of change our topics and our tasks, we will slightly alter the rubrics as well. But make sure you meet the requirements for all of everything you need to do for that assignment. All right, now for this assignment too, I thought I'd have a little fun. That's why we are here in Allie's kitchen. And I prepared my own little demonstration video for you. So you can use this as an example if you want. Pay attention to the language that I'm using, the organization that I've included. I've tried to follow the same hints and strategies that I've provided you for this assignment, and I've also I'll try to use some of the paralinguistic gestures just to emphasize what it is I'm trying to teach with you, and perhaps you can give me a grade, see if I've been successful here as well. Also, I'm trying to do this in just one take, so I'll see if I can get that take done in the necessary time of 4 or 5 minutes. All right, so are you ready? Are you excited for what I have to teach you here today? Because here we go. All right, what I'd like to introduce to do today is how to cook the perfect breakfast sandwich. I personally love a great breakfast, but because I usually have so little time to prepare for my busy days, I often skip breakfast. So let me share with you one fast, easy, and delicious meal, the breakfast sandwich. In fact, I love it so much that I often eat it for a quick dinner too, like I am here tonight. So my favorite is a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on an English muffin, similar to what you might find at McDonald's. But these days, since I can't find English muffins at Paris Baguette anymore, I've decided to use plain white bread instead. So to prepare for this tasty way to start your day, you will need 2 slices of white bread, 1 egg, 2 slices of processed cheese, 2 to 4 slices of bacon. Depending on how much you like bacon, you can use a whole packet if you like. A little bit of butter, and of course, a frying pan and a spatula. All right, if you have all those, you are ready to go. Now, before you begin with the actual cooking, always make sure you're well prepared, okay? So make sure you can get all these things ready to cook before you turn on that heat, and it will you can avoid making any disastrous mistakes. So start by preparing a plate with a paper towel to soak up any excess grease from the bacon once it is cooked. Next, take that bacon and place it in a cold pan. If you cook the bacon in a cold pan first, you're probably going to get crispier bacon, which I enjoy. Now you're ready to begin cooking. So turn on the heat to medium and cook the bacon until one side is ready. Once the bacon is to your liking, turn it over. And when that bacon is nice and crispy, remove it from the pan and place it onto the paper towel that you've prepared. Next, you want to take your egg and crack it into the frying pan. Cooking should take about 4 minutes, depending on how you like your egg. I like it a little runny. Hopefully there's enough bacon grease still in the pan that you can cook it in that pan, or you can add a little more oil or butter if you think that's necessary. That's what I enjoy to do. A little extra flavor. While the egg is frying, you'd like to take your bread and make sure you butter one side of each slice to prepare it for frying. But don't forget about your egg. You don't want to overcook that. Don't burn the egg. I like that a little runny, so I only cook that egg for a short while. Once the egg is done, you can place it with the cooked bacon on that paper towel. Next, you want to take one slice of the of the bread, and place that butter side down into the frying pan. Next, take one slice of processed cheese, put it on the bread, then add your egg from the paper towel, and then place your bacon across the egg, and finally place that second slice of cheese on top of the bacon, and finally cover it with the other slice of bread with the butter facing up. Then you want to press lightly with the spatula to crush it down a little bit. All right. Once that side of the bread is cooked, maybe about 3 minutes, get it golden brown, and then carefully flip that sandwich over in the pan and cook for another 2 or 3 minutes. And then voila, you should have a wonderful sandwich. If you're not a big fan of bacon like me, there are other options like ham or perhaps tomato. You can skip the meat. Also, people like to enjoy this with ketchup sometimes. For me, it depends on my mood. But right now, I'm feeling like it's a ketchup day. So, there we go. Oh, excuse me. All right. So, finally, you can enjoy your finished product. Excuse me. Here's dinner.